Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for our marquee event. We have the All-Stars match getting ready to take place now. And boy, what a day it's been. We've had plenty of action all the way through. We had our skills tests at the very beginning, something that we've never done before, but was very interesting to watch. And now we get to see these guys face off 6v6 in some not quite stock standard
some stock
Overwatch
standard,
matchups,
a little bit of stock
pretty
standard,
close.
but mostly
Map
not.
one's going to be stock standard. After that, it's going to change up a little bit. So it's things are going to get very interesting very quickly. We'll go ahead and take a look at the rules here. You can see map 1 is standard 6v6 hybrid map, which is going to be Blizzard World. Map 2, teams will pick their opponent's heroes for a 2-2-2 escort map. Then 3, we have Tiny Overwatch, which is a workshop mode where, you know, get some kills. You'll start off really small, get some kills, and you'll grow in size. And then map 4, we have all damage, all tank, all supports on control map, so we'll have to see which it's going to be.
I think it's
each round it'll be.
Yeah, I think it's like tank and then I have it written down. Yeah, it's damage, then tank, then support if we go to all 3 rounds.
Yeah, so everybody's going to have to play. It's going to be chaotic when we get to that point, if we get to that point.
Yeah, if we do, which would require a draw on our first map, which is hybrid, or potentially a draw on escort, which has never happened before. So, I mean,
are we sure that they're not just playing all 4?
I was told only 4 if it was a draw.
Okay, no, they're not. We just got confirmation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, production, for giving us all of our Power Rangers facts as well as game mode information, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. But yeah, I mean, basically, the deeper we go into this series between our 2 All-Stars teams, the crazier it's going to get. Which is
it is going to get nuts.
We just a dive into insanity the deeper we go. So I'm hoping that as always, I'm hoping we go the distance. It's already been a long day, so let's just keep going further and further. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at our rosters, starting off with Team AAA. You can see that we have Yaki, Carpe, Glister, Haksal, Mano, Choihyobin, Ameng, Krong, Tobi, JJonak, Shu, and Izayaki.
Really excited to see Yaki get to play in Korea again with all these top Korean pros. It's something that I've missed a lot since Yaki went to Florida Mayhem. And, you know, Florida was one of those all-Korean rosters. We were wondering, are they going to come to Korea too? But they decided to stay in the States and play in North America. So we haven't been able to commentate Yaki, you and I, basically all season. So always excited to see him come back. It's a star-studded cast of players across the board. And here's Yaki's stats on screen. Really, really nice to see him come back. Really phenomenal player across the season. Was definitely considered by many to be a top pick for DPS role star. Like, a lot of people are like, I think he deserves a spot. You know, and a lot of analysts have really pointed to him being one of the main reasons Florida's seen a big resurgence this year. Really top player, and I'm excited to see how he does tonight.
Yeah, I mean, not as reflected in his stats, but, you know, mostly playing either placing 6th or above that in his Tracer figures out of 22 players. So he still is a pretty consistent Tracer player, just lacking a little bit of the hero damage perspective, but he's picking up the kills that his team is setting up, capitalizing on those. So good alley-oop plays, as I call them, coming through from him with that Tracer pick. Now we have Choihyobin as Diva. And you know, unsurprisingly, Choihyobin, he's a good tank. He's one of our role stars for tank. Was one of our MVP candidates. This guy has just always been extremely consistent in that role.
He was also finals MVP in the grand finals last season. So, I mean, just an incredible player who's been around forever. You know, you and I got to cast his debut game on X6, and he's just been, across the years, a top-tier Diva player, most famous early on for getting multi-kills with self-destruct, but then becoming known for really good peels on Diva. And then, obviously, as he came into Overwatch League, those GOATs and everything else, he became known for a very wide, expanded hero pool. Sigma coming into play, really importantly, he killed it and was insanely good in the Grand Finals, which got him that Grand Finals MVP. And then this year, he's obviously played a really wide variety of off-tanks because the meta has called for it, especially very recently, you know, with the new Roadhog metas emerging and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was very clearly one of the first to truly pick up Sigma and understand the potential of that hero, and really maximized it last year. So this year hasn't really been much of an exception at all. I think if anything, we've seen the other tanks on the side of the San Francisco Shock, especially Smurf, step up to Choi's level and perform similarly as him, which is a part of why Shock has been so good this season. You can see the starting lineup here for map number 1 for Team AAA. We will have Yaki in alongside Carpe in the DPS lineup, then Mano, Choihyobin, Tobi, and JJonak. So
Tobi JJonak is like a dream duo, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of veterans, a lot of players that people have, always just kind of wondered about, like, what if Tobi played with JJonak? What if they were on the same team? The Lucio god alongside the Zenyatta god. Well, you get to see it right now, and that's the beautiful thing about All-Stars.
Yeah, that is one of the really cool things about All-Stars. Taking a look at Tobi on Mercy here, you can see his stats coming through. More famous for his Lucio, but has played a lot of Mercy this season because the meta has called for it. Surprising to a lot of people, he has started over Slime throughout the most critical parts of the season. A lot of people thought Slime was going to kind of replace him, and that might be the end of the Lunatic High legacy in Overwatch League, but he actually saw more play across the board.
Yeah, Tobi has really stepped up. You can see that here in his Mercy figures. So out of 22 players, very much landing around the top 4 in some of the most important figures. Deaths, obviously, you're always going to be pretty susceptible, but out of 22, being tied for 8th is not too bad. His healing could do with some work. But for the most part, at least on the latter half of the season where the Mercy's been super prevalent, he hasn't had to do that much healing on Mercy because the Seoul Dynasty have just kind of been rolling. That being said, there's still always going to be room for improvement, but the biggest factor about Tobi is him getting those reses off on key members in the Seoul Dynasty. He knows when to go for somebody, when he can get them picked up, and he also knows who is the most valuable person that he could bring back into a fight. So really good decision-making overall from him on Mercy.
Well, taking a look at Team Universe's starting 6 here, you can see the lineup come through. Fleta, Ons, Fearless, Void, Alarm, and LeeJaeGon. Actually, it's the full roster. Sorry, I don't have an image of this. I'll leave this one to you,
I can see it. Wolf can't. All right, we're going down the whole roster. We have Fleta, then Prophet, Decay, Ons, Fearless, Void, Hanbin, Guxue, LeeJaeGon, Alarm, Violet, and Myunbong. So a lot of Shanghai Dragons players here. We got 4 members of the Shanghai Dragons on Team Universe.
Yeah, this team seems like the stacked one. Like, this team seems like it's the stronger team on paper. I feel like that's my take. You can take it as you will.
Prophet Decay as a DPS lineup, you can see that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you've got Alarm as well as LeeJaeGon for support, so that's actually kind of crazy. Also, Myunbong is actually insane as well. So there's a lot to talk about here. This lineup is pretty stacked.
Yeah. Well, taking a closer look at Decay on Zarya this season. Obviously, he's had such a massive resurgence since joining the Washington Justice. Wasn't seeing that much of a performance from him on Dallas, from where he needed to be to get that team to be successful. Then stopped playing. Then we saw him come back on Justice, and suddenly he just surged to the top. 2nd in damage, 2nd in final blows. Eliminations rating is very, very high, as well as his deaths. He's dying very little on that Zarya. So a lot of lastability, which means constantly high energy overall, and that goes forward and allows him to get that high hero damage figure. So this guy has been, he looked fantastic coming over onto the Justice.
Yep. Moving forward onto Hanbin and looking at his Sigma stats, you can take a look at those on your screen. He's had a pretty significant year as well.
Yes.
He's been a lot of people have said, like, well, Sparkle's going to carry Paris Eternal. A lot of people thought that was going to be the case, but Hanbin actually oftentimes a lot of metrics came up even bigger, and a lot of people have kind of changed their tune on who's the strongest player on Paris Eternal. A lot of people would tell you Hanbin now.
Yeah, there was a lot of outcry actually about Hanbin and him not being an MVP candidate and that kind of stuff, and how much recognition he actually does deserve. And the answer is he deserves a hell of a lot of it. First in 4 separate metrics out of 20 players on Sigma, including damage, final blows, his accretion kills, his gravitic flux kills. This guy is accurate when it comes down to whether it's the primary fire or when he's chucking boulders. He is constantly hitting people. His stun rate is, really, really great. Puts him in 3rd place. That's it could be better, but he's mid-table, tied for 10th. In that facet, and given everything else, I think you can excuse the deaths.
Well, it's also
this guy has just been destroyed.
It's also just like the fact that he's not even on, he's not on a top 2 team necessarily. He's literally not on a top 2 team. You could argue that certain parts of the season he was, in fact, but
yeah.
given Paris's finishing record, to have stats that high, it's actually really indicative of how strong of an individual player he really is on the hero. It's actually pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and that's just on his Sigma. I mean, he's been a really strong performer on numerous picks. His Diva is also extremely good. So yeah, Hanbin, one of the most valuable pickups of the previous off season coming in. It was a really strong grab for the Paris Eternal, and I think we can expect to see him on that roster, because if I was them, I wouldn't want to let him go at all. Now we'll see LeeJaeGon as Mercy. Again, this wasn't the biggest role that he has played. It's been mostly on the latter half of things, but still has been putting up some pretty solid numbers overall.
Yeah, I mean, LeeJaeGon has played a lot of different heroes this season, but the Mercy and the Lucio have been his biggest, obviously. He's more famous for his Lucio. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Obviously, he can be so aggressive that he ends up dying first in a lot of team fights. If you had his Lucio stats up there, the deaths would be not as good as you'd think. But he's had a pretty good season, I mean, he really has. Like, he did not underperform expectations.
No, he did not. I mean, that's why he, earned himself a spot as a role star for his support play. Let's take a look at our starting lineup, though, for
real
Team
this
Universe. And it might not be that shocking to find that all 4 members of the Shanghai Dragons that are on Team Universe will be starting here in map number 1. We've got Fleta alongside Ons for our DPS lineup, Fearless and Void the tanks, and then we will make one other little change here as Alarm and LeeJaeGon will be coming out. And this is I mean, you want to talk about aggressive supports. This is about as aggressive as you could possibly get, I think. Yeah,
this roster doesn't feel fair to me, that they could have all these players. I will say Fleta together with Ons, too, talking about that duo. You've got arguably one of the best Widowmaker players in these rosters, and then you've got the best projectile flex player, and the current MVP. So that DPS duo feels like it has no holes, no matter what they want to play. Fleta can play anything. Ons can play hit scan to an insanely high level. So you've got so many options with this DPS duo. Fearless and Void have pre-existing synergy together. It's actually just, I mean, this looks like an unbeatable team on paper.
But I mean, if AAA can take them down, then how impressive is that? You gotta really hand it to them if they're able to take away this first map, especially since this is going to be a stock standard 6v6 on Blizzard World. We're not going to be having any of the more like fun game modes coming in yet. So it seems like Team Universe, they want to go ahead and lock down that map 1 victory, put their right foot forward before the shenanigans really come into play.
Yeah, before they don't get to pick the heroes they want or get to play with the normal sized heroes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out, though. I am excited to see the performance of AAA versus such a strong team, because if they do make it close even, I think that's impressive in itself. But if they are able to win by any means, then it's like, wow, what a feat. I mean, obviously, this is an all-star match, right? These teams haven't been like screaming for this match for 2 weeks or something to build that synergy, but I'm sure they practiced together a few times, no doubt. I mean, these are all top Korean players. They don't just kind of mess around. They usually take these sorts of show matches very seriously, because it's very disrespectful not to. So I'm excited to see how AAA fares.
Yeah, I mean, no matter which way you slice it, you can talk about how stacked Team Universe is. Like, AAA is obviously not that far behind as far as just the raw talent. Like you said, there's a lot of pre-existing synergy on Team Universe, given the 4 members of the Shanghai Dragons. But it's not like it's so clear-cut different in the skill level and the the ability of the players on AAA that Team Universe should just completely wipe them out in this first map at least. So there certainly is an opportunity for AAA to be able to take this one, and if they do, like I said, it's going to be very, very impressive for them to break down those pre-existing synergies and whatnot. So I'm excited to see Tobi and JJonak versus Alarm and LeeJaeGon. For me, I think that's kind of the highlight of the lineup, at least for map number 1.
For sure.
Because Tobi and JJonak are both also very aggressive supports. So I'm curious to see how that lineup is going to go.
Well, when you had, earlier we had that Genji skill challenge, right? It was a while ago now, but Haksal versus Sparkle, kind of reminiscent of JJonak versus Alarm here, right? In terms of old gods versus the new. So I smacked something in my room here as I'm explaining this. I think that's an exciting matchup, depending on what heroes they play too. I mean, I think it's very likely going to be either Ana or JJonak, or Ana or Zenyatta for these players. And, you know, regardless of what it is, if it's a mirror or not, I mean, they are probably going to challenge each other a little bit. Not just because that's what happens in flex support matchups, but also I think because they want to show themselves up, or show the other up a little bit. Because they've been on different regions, again, this entire year. So New York hasn't played, I mean, not the entire year in New York's case, but for most of the year, right? For a really long time. So it's not a matchup we really get to see.
It really is not. But again, that's the good old beauty of All Stars, is bringing these players together and, you know, making teams that we otherwise would never get to see. And there we go. We can take a look at our starting members, the ones at least who do have webcams, which Tobi is alone on that front for the Pacific Division here in Team AAA. But the majority of Atlantic at least do have their webcams up, so that's good. So we can go ahead and check in on the players throughout the series and see how they're doing. I think that was one of the most entertaining parts of the Widowmaker 1v1s prior to at least to the finals, was being able to see the reactions of the players. But here we go. We are on Blizzard World to start off this series.
Yep.
So first to 2, if we can make it that far, things will certainly get very spicy with the, you know, all tank, all support type compositions that could be coming through.
You know, the map types make it so that, you know, if you do, we will need a draw here basically in order to go to that tiebreaker map of control, just to remind everyone of that. Also, like,
yes,
can we talk about AAA's team color? That's pretty cool. I actually really like it.
Green?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think it looks really nice. Like, I mean, if we get another expansion Overwatch League team, I mean, maybe this could be the color for them, you know?
Well, I mean, you know why that is. It's because of our lovely, beautiful All-Stars skins
that
are available September 29th until October 12th.
Speaking of, I mean, look at Boyd. What's he wearing? What's that?
Yeah, he's got the new one on. So he's being very nicely thematic. But here we go. The countdown will be coming through.
Are they playing meta? Yeah. The answer is
we can
yes.
let battle commence.
Kind of, anyways.
Well, they're changing up a little bit. Tobi's going to be swapping over onto Lucio. JJonak going to be going for the Moira, something that he was running, I should say, more and more as of late. Yaki slinking his way through the back of the Griffin ride. Does elude being spotted there by Fleta, who is guarding the staircase. Ons, in the meantime, no surprise, going to be on that Widowmaker, starting to take some shots as he breaks down that Winston bubble. There's a couple of hits in. He's trying to get that headshot onto Tobi, but can't quite find it. Continues to just push around, making sure that he can get some shots in onto the members of AAA as they try to push their way out of the indoors area and over onto the point. It's going to be a wrap around the back side for them, as Yaki will make his presence known. Pops out, looks for the kill here, onto Alarm. Dive comes in from Choihyobin. They manage to collapse onto the Zenyatta, and they get that kill. Already a really great start for them. As the jump comes in, Ons, however, will be able to finish off Mano. Choihyobin is knocked out of the mech, so now no tanks available. Ons almost gets the snipe onto Yaki, forces him out of position, and gets the headshot after dragging him out of stealth. Beautifully done from Ons.
Yeah, I mean, the dive there to kill Alarm was a bit overzealous and ended up trading too poorly out of that, so ending up getting chunked down. Yaki not getting a ton of ult charge either.
Ooh. Yeah, Pulse Bomb was out. Wraithwalk unavailable from Carpe, so it does get picked up by Fleta. Really great forward position from him. Just go ahead and buy some extra time. Already almost 2 minutes going to be going off the clock here for AAA.
Yeah, this is really bad for AAA.
They're looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, AAA, they're not out of this by any means, and they still have a really good chance of capping A because that EMP is going to come through eventually. But the way they stand now, like, Alarm's probably going to have Transcendence for the EMP, and if they do cap it, the time bank is much weaker than you would like for this type of composition they're running. That's very EMP-based, the team fight they're looking for. And Mano's discorded, and he's going to have to run away here.
Yeah, took a big chunk of damage. Fearless now well into the back line with the Primal Rage rolling. Trying to get the break on the Choihyobin's mech. Takes him low. Ons, however, now finds a shot onto Tobi, getting rid of him.
I don't think they can stay anymore.
Use the sound barrier.
They want to,
Yeah, now
though.
he's going to have to try to rejoin the fight. Choihyobin's still pushing forward. Discord Orb moves over to Mano, who goes up the side of the map after taking down Alarm. If I can get a replay of that, would be interesting to see exactly how he went off the side there. But Carpe does get eliminated, and Team Universe will be able to hold strong with Fleta nearly at another Pulse Bomb.
it's so unfortunate.
Choihyobin's got to get...
this is a stagger too. Mano using the Primal there would have made a lot of sense if they had the sound barrier, but because Tobi was dead, I don't know if that's the commitment they really wanted. If they had an EMP too right before that, that might have been a nice setup. Now, if he can get the right-click hack, if Yaki can get the right-click hack here onto Alarm, that can set up for a really nice EMP fight because he won't be able to use the Transcendence. That's going to be the idea here, but the Scout onto the Sombra is going to force him to translocate away. Ons pops his ult.
Yeah, had to jump out. Even if he could just force Alarm to pop that Transcendence a little bit early by almost killing him off, then that would still be huge for him. Looks like it's going to be another wrap around the back for AAA. Using that Lucio move speed. Keep them all together and ensure that they can push forward. Now keep trying to get into position. Got the spot there onto Alarm. Now just has to wait for the EMP. Dive in, they're looking for Void, the pocket healing coming out from LeeJaeGon, they're trying to keep him alive. Pulse bomb map from Fleta takes down Mano, now the headshot's there. JJonak falls, and Tobi again is going to have to try to hold on to this sound barrier for a last minute contest, but he's not even going to get that opportunity. Ons gets the dink, and there's 20 seconds remaining. AAA, they've got a plethora of ultimates, but they need to tag the point. They need to get over there to even, you know...
And this is super ult efficient too, like they only use the pulse, right? I mean, everything else is still ticking up here. They've got a Primal for longevity, they've got the Trance, you know, for the EMP, and AAA, I mean, they have some staying power here, but they need a pick. They need to kill somebody early or force that Trance early. And Yaki's already translocated out.
Point. Yeah, it stayed as long as he could. Sound barrier gets dropped in from Tobi as they look to push their way over onto the point. Fleta getting tagged up just a little bit, pops the recall, almost gets topped up. They will find Ons, but they lose out on Mano. The Split Orb goes over onto JJonak to try to kill him in the middle of the Coalescence, but they just can't do it. But Void comes back through, manages to find two, takes down Carpe, got the Winston. Choihyobin not able to find too much of anything here with this self-destruct, and Void zones them back by using his own. Pulse Bomb out to break Choi out of the mech, and he's off the point for long enough for that full hold, an absolute full hold to come through. Not even a single tick grabbed by AAA. Team Universe looking utterly dominant on that defense.
Yeah, I mean, this team is pretty stacked, right? They have pre-existing Sentry, like I was talking about before, and the non-Shanghai players, Alarm and Ons, some would argue best in their position in North America. So, I mean, I would argue that. I'd say Ons is the best hit scan player in North America, and Alarm is probably the best flex support in North America. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's like you have the best of Asia, and then the best of North America in the missing roles, right? Like, honestly, a lot of people would probably even argue that, like, Izayaki might be the weakest player on Shanghai Dragons, which is crazy to say because he's so good. You put Alarm in that hole, it's like, what? Is that even allowed? Is that fair? Like, and then the ult economy was always an issue for AAA because they got such a late EMP that everything, capping A itself always hinged on the EMP fight. And Team Universe, because Ons kept getting picks and they kept spotting Yaki, there was just no way to set up for a fight where they weren't just going to get countered by Trance. And then they only used the EMP the way they did because they had no choice because it was overtime and they had to use it that way, and Alarm is like super safe. So the cards are definitely stacked against AAA in the terms of these rosters, I'd say personally, but hey, they could have a full hold, you might get that draw, you might get that fourth map, you never know.
Yeah. Well, if you're a billionaire and you want to get into the Overwatch League next year, maybe you can buy out Team Universe as is right now and just have that be your starting six. Definitely costs you a pretty penny. But here we go. A single tick is all that is needed for Team Universe. Fleta is actually going to be on the Widowmaker and Ons on the Tracer, so it feels like maybe a little bit of BM coming in from Team Universe, showing their confidence in being able to take this.
JJonak is super good at punishing Winston play or aggressive Winston play, and he keeps tagging up both tanks. So Universe is actually having a tough time closing the gap right now, although they do get onto the point.
Ooh. Yaki versus Ons in the back line. Ons getting tagged up just a little bit. I would definitely rule in Yaki's favor as far as this matchup is concerned, and he actually just disconnects himself from that 1v1, goes over, kills Fleta, gets a jump on him. Carpe in the meantime will get the break onto the mech. Res used by LeeJaeGon to bring Fleta back into the fight. I'm not sure if they can continue the push here. Just wait and see. Void has not been finished off yet, so he's going to be sitting in pilot form, trying to pistol his way back in. And if he can do that, then they certainly can still press the issue of making their way onto the point. But JJonak finds the snipe, gets rid of that Baby Diva before he can get the remake. And that should slow them up a bit. But under a little bit of fire as JJonak just sits in the back, taking some pot shots here. Turns up the right click, trying to get the kill onto Ons. And Carpe will be able to do just that. Gets the headshot, finishing them off, forcing yet another res here from LeeJaeGon. Putting the Tracer back into the fight. And he does have a Pulse Bomb available. Let's see what kind of target he can go for. Tobi, not going to be a super reliable one to try to find. And if he gets a tag on the JJonak, he'll force the trance, which is going to get popped anyway, as they do press forward. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't find much, nor does Yaki's, but Alarm takes down Carpe. Yaki hunting around the backside, has to grab that health pack. As Fearless tries to rejoin the rest of his squad, but will just get cut down by Choihyobin in the end, who's got a self-destruct to get himself back into the mech should he be broken down. We'll throw that one up into the air, looking for some picks. Transcendence now forced from Alarm in response to that. Couldn't make it around the corner, out of line of sight fast enough. Onto the meantime, wreaking havoc in the back line. Is trying to stay alive now, gets jumped on by Yaki. Recall is down, he's got nowhere to go, so will just get finished off. 2 members now dead here on the side of Team Universe. The third one as Carpe gets the headshot in on the LeeJaeGon, and I think this is just going to be a bit of a stagger here for the members of Team Universe who are just draining their clock down.
This is definitely like full holdable now, and Team Universe actually, you know, I definitely did the wrong rolls, I think. I mean, there might have been some BM, might have been just like for fun, whatever, but because of what they did early with the weak Tracer performance you saw from Ons, Fleta not having a good time, now they have to kind of reset their ult economy, which means AAA just has massive advantages across the board. And getting a Dragon Blade here to end the round with no pocket, and now he's dead, like, this, I mean, I feel like I could see, my telescope is out, man. I see the draw. I'm looking directly
it was really great crossfire set up by Yaki. Came in after the shot did connect. Up a little bit on us, so it's hard to tell exactly what is going on. Right now I can see in the sideshow that it was going to be Carpe getting eliminated. Transcendence now rolling for JJonak, making their way onto the point right now, our Team Universe, but they're now it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Carpe waiting to respawn. We'll see if he swaps off the Widowmaker. Seems like he might be sticking through with it as Void gets a nice eat onto Yaki's Pulse Bomb, denying that away, and Mano desperately tries to stay alive with the Primal Rage rolling. The Discord Orb did so much damage to him, but it seems like they will be able to keep him sustained. No Transcendence available, self-destruct now coming up from Void, tosses that into the back, which JJonak does elude. The point is so close to getting capped right now. Mano manages to find one, but Fearless punishes him. Now Choihyobin's going to be gone. They clear the point long enough to go ahead and get the cap, and Team Universe will be able to take map number 1 in this series.
Yep, they changed comps, they're down on ult economy, but they brute forced their way through. At the end of the day, they were able to force that one team fight into their favor and take it. Ended up being a lot closer than I expected. I think part of that is just based on the comp that we saw them run on their most of their early parts, but it was still an impressive run from Yaki. Like, he had a really nice Tracer defense. His Sombra was decent as well. The circumstances that made it really hard for him to actually play it like perfectly, quote unquote. He couldn't set up for those trances. He was getting revealed by Ons nonstop. But hey, that's the try hard one, right? That's the first map where we play standard with like the toughest roster that probably Universe could field. I don't think they're gonna run that roster moving forward. And we are going into some more fun matchups now. This is no longer the regular Overwatch League game type.
Yeah, now we get to dive into the shenanigans here and the silliness for the next, potentially couple of maps. This is obviously a first to 2, so Team Universe is already 1 leg up, but perhaps with the change of game mode, the change of the map, AAA will be able to bounce back, tie us up 1-1, and keep this ball rolling and give us some more entertainment here before we close out our All-Star event. We're going to go a quick little break, and when we come back, we will have map number 2 coming up, so stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. Overwatch League is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, or renter's insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Alrighty, welcome back. It is now time to jump into map number 2. Had a little bit of a misspoke a little bit before we had the break. We, of course, will be playing 3 maps no matter what. But because we did not have a draw there on Blizzard World, unless we get the world's first draw on Escort, we are going to be, you know, we're gonna be moving forward. I mean, obviously, you know, it could happen. It could happen. We could have a draw on Escort.
I mean, you know, never say never after what we've seen so far today. Anything could happen.
Have happened. Yeah. But yeah, obviously things going to be changing up so that we're going to be getting into some shenanigans when we came back in for map number 2, and that is going to be the case. Teams have chosen what their opponents are going to be playing. So heroes required. Let's go ahead and take a look. And it is going to be Reaper, McCree, Reinhardt, Zarya, Lucio, and Ana.
So kind of almost meta, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's not too far off.
We've seen some comps.
I like
some teams run these comps. So
I like the lack of you know, Mercy. So they're not going to be having the reses come back in. It's just going to be Lucio, so people are going to be going fast. Some potential for some nice sleep dart shutdowns onto things like Death Blossoms as well as Deadeyes. But yeah, I mean, this could be a pretty.
I'm just glad pretty exciting. Yeah, they gave us a comp that's fun to watch. They didn't go, let's do Bastion, Symmetra, you know,
Reaper May.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no.
All right. Well, we do additionally have some change-ups to the lineup. So here is Triple A's lineup for map number 2. Carpe still going to be in, as well as Mano and Tobi, but we will see Glister come in alongside Carpe, so that double hit scan coming through. Mano is going to be alongside Krong this time, and then we have Shu coming in, so can fully expect Tobi obviously to be on the Lucio, and Shu on that Ana, which he's been so good at.
Question is, Glister and Carpe, who plays Reaper, who plays Widow? I mean, they both went out. They were both. Neither of them won the Widow 1v1. So it's like, if one of them won Widow 1v1, it's like, all right, you're on Reaper. But
yeah, but Carpe almost beat DM, who beat Glister. It's gonna be Carpe on Widowmaker. He's got the young status. He'll make that call. But over on Team Universe, this is gonna be their lineup for map number 2. Prophet alongside Decay. That could be a very dangerous duo. Fearless and Void still in for the tank line. LeeJaeGon still in for support, but he will be joined by Myunbong.
Yeah, Myunbong, you know, how do we say it the nice way? He's a stronger player than his team may lead you to believe. And it's really awesome that he actually gets to play in this, because he's going to be playing with insanely strong players, so he's on a really awesome roster now, and it's going to be cool. And
yeah,
you know, I mean, like, he didn't really get to show his potential. Let's just be real. I feel we all know, or anyone who watched him previously before Overwatch League knows how really strong he is, and he's been dealt, you know, a weaker resulting team, or the team with weaker results, let's just say. So I think a lot of people are probably like, what? Myunbong? Seriously? He's an all-star? It's like, yeah, actually, he's really good.
I mean, just be straight up. Just call a spade. Boston had a terrible year, and Myunbong, you know, still was able to show up a little bit in some of those series, but overall, like you said, he was on a weaker squad, didn't really get to show off his potential. You know, obviously, especially from a support role, you're not going to be able to do a deadlift like Fleta to make yourself stand out, but he still did have some shining moments. And you and I especially know, and for those, you know, who have watched Contenders and watched him, you know, come up from the beginning of his career, know how strong he is. You know, plus there's people, you know, who watch his stream because he has a really great Ana when he plays on his stream as well. Some nutty sleep darts from that guy. And I think that we can expect to see some more of those here as we do head into Rialto, because given the support pool, you would fully anticipate that Myunbong will be on Ana with LeeJaeGon on Lucio.
Yep, that's what I'd expect to see. And there it is, immediately as you say it. So we get Reinhardt Zarya, which is a big fan favorite. Void Zarya versus Krong Zarya. You know, obviously, Void and Krong obviously having Roll Star stars. They've earned their stripes on that one this year, but Krong more known for his Zarya than Void, just because of his early part of his career. It's not really like, I don't think most people would say that Void Zarya is worse than his though, but he's more known for the hero, so that's always exciting to see that clash there. And there's going to be Carpe on the McCree, Glister on the Reaper. So you were right, Carpe said, look, I'm the young, you gotta play Reaper. I'm playing the hit scan. Everyone wants to watch Tobi on the Rialto bridge, but it's LeeJaeGon!
Oh. There it is. That's exactly what we came to expect. He tries to go in for the follow-up, but a really nice bubble there from Krong to try to keep Mano alive. Also, you know, Reinhardt having the reduced knockback length is going to be doing Mano some very big favors.
This better not happen again. It's LeeJaeGon. Seriously, nobody's going to check for this?
He's on the hunt, and he's going to keep trying for it time and time again. It's a really great start. Drops down here, has to heal his team this time, as they will go ahead and start pulling back. And Fearless, ooh, yeah, knocks the ground there briefly by the sleep dart out from Shu. Does set up for the kill, so Carpe manages to help break down that front line, and the card starts rolling for Team AAA. Making around the corner, where Krong is quite energized. Just looking, hops up here onto the high ground, sees the teleport coming through, lobs a right click over to try and get Profit, but they can't set up for the kill. He will get topped up, and Decay manages to strike back, getting rid of Glister. So the staying power on the card's going to be limited because they lose out on that tank buster DPS.
Krong at 100 energy here. Massive damage output, but do get pushed back. Very risky move from LeeJaeGon. Costs the team the early control of the bridge, but it more so costs him 20% of ult charge. So Tobi's going to have Sound Barrier first. That could be a really big game changer on this A contest. Nano boost out first from Myunbong.
Shatter up Fearless, pressing forward, drops the hammer, does manage to catch two, pushes his way into the back to try to finish off those supports, but he's unable to do so. Tobi and Shu both do stay alive at least for a little bit longer, but Void comes up with a second kill in the fight. As the reroute will come out here from AAA. Carpe now respawning, Shu getting ready to do just that.
Grab's ready on this
corner. Mix of things, but yeah, and that is a very scary prospect here for AAA and trying to get control over this card. Krong is nearly there though, so let's see how the fight is going to go for them. Big boon for AAA is going to be that sound barrier for Tobi. Grab comes out first from Krong, now going to be matched by Void, and Fearless just swings his way to 2 kills. The Deadeye setup is there to get rid of Krong as well, and yeah, Pim not going to do anything, but the cleanup comes through, and AAA will be halted yet again at this corner with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining.
Fearless is like, I'll take that, thank you. It's pretty nice setup there for him to just swing to win. LeeJaeGon hidden again, and no one has seen him, but I don't know if he's going to get a kill because they're playing reactionary against it now, and I think they can see him now. Oh, as I say that, he's going to start
making his way over there, and he gets the hit, but he doesn't find the kill. Oh, it was so close, almost got Krong. Shatter dropped in by Mano, managed to find 3, really big Earth Shatter. And the Deadeye follow-up is huge. Carpe taking down 2 for himself. LeeJaeGon going to be the only one left alive as he tries to hide behind the card, but they will finish him off for the team kill.
Carpe almost looked like he was...
respawns, though. They could still recontest this.
Yeah, I think they might. Carpe looked like he was rolling his eyes when he pressed the Deadeye. He was like, I don't even need to kill them with this. I don't even want to, but he had no choice. Had to kill him. Had to click. Yeah, they're going to come over here and contest. They have a sound barrier here, and they speed boost in, so AAA with no ults are really going to have a hard time fighting this out unless they can get a pick if they're already on retreat.
Get that Blossom, the push for the Shatter comes in, catches 4 members of AAA, knocks him to the ground. Fearless cleans up both supports with a single fire strike, and they respond in kind with a very nice team wipe of their own. Shu does have this nano boost to try to get them across the finish line here, or at least to point A, I should say. But, I mean, they need to be able to get to the cart in time. 13 seconds remaining, and LeeJaeGon is the bridge keeper here. Trying to push them off, doesn't manage to find it, tries to retreat, but the flashbang from Carpe sends him into the canal. That is absolutely huge.
That should be
Deadeye rolling currently from Decay, gonna have to be canceled. It should be A, we'll have to wait and see though. Nano is used onto Mano as he presses forward, swinging away, trying to get that Earth Shatter online. Nearly does have it, but has to keep the shield raised for now, as he was antied. Carpe will get rid of Decay, finding his counterpart in the McCree. They lose out on Glister, but now with Void falling, there's no tanks, it's just supports. This will be point A, taken by AAA, so not going to be seeing another full hold coming through. They get a second lease on life as 2.5 minutes are added to the clock.
Yeah, I mean, you lose your Lucio, and then your tank line just can't compete because you don't have speed, and you just get destroyed. So LeeJaeGon died as he lived, man. speed boosting around, trying to get those kills. And he just, you know, it doesn't work out sometimes. The rest of the team falls behind. They don't get that team fight they were looking for. Void doesn't get to have the grab. And this is actually a pretty nice push here through this tougher part against McCree. So, free angle here. Carpe, sneaky for a second there.
Thinking better about it. Grab is used, catches them here in the window. Carpe finds a headshot onto Decay. I wasn't sure if that angle was going to work out, but they do capitalize on it quite nicely. Bionade gets rid of LeeJaeGon. It's going to be a cleanup on the fight here for the side of AAA, and they can keep this cart moving. They're making decent time. It's only been a minute expended, and they're well over halfway towards point B.
If all these players are sitting next to each other, and some of them are, I think some angry eyes might be looking towards LeeJaeGon right now. Fearless looking for the flank here, potentially. He's got the speed boost, but grab comes out first. Oh, nice defensive Deadeye.
Carpe just lobbing in that flashbang to try to buy them a little bit of extra time. Tobi falling low will get taken down, but Mano has the pin onto Fearless, and it's very much going to be AAA who win out this fight. TP into the back as they look to chase down onto Decay. They will clean him up. Myunbong finds one, but point B is snatched up by AAA, and they will continue to push forward here on Rialto.
Yeah, those are.
I'm going to be obviously much more limited. You only get that extra minute and a half here for getting into B.
It was really good defensive play from Carpe. Pop out the Deadeye. See the Shatter come through as well. AAA is just super prepared for this. And unfortunately for Team Universe, that was an expensive fight.
Oh, does he go for it? Yes, he does. So straight in with a Wraith Walk. Wasn't even top. To find 4 members with the Death Blossom. Absolutely massive from Glister.
So rare, too.
Another team wipe as the cart rolls around the last corner of the map with a minute and 50 remaining. The respawns start coming in. And obviously Team Universe, they can't swap heroes to try to go for any, you know, big delay tactical ones like Wrecking Ball, like the May. They have to stay on this composition for the entirety of the map. Prophet going to be dropping the Death Blossom here straight up on the cart. Does manage to find Carpe, so gets rid of one. His Mano falls dangerously low.
They're actually holding this for a little bit longer, though.
Back up.
It's a pretty nice defense.
Start on the Krong. Yeah, good sleep coming in. The self-bubble keeps himself alive for a little bit longer, but the Fire Strike will finish him off as LeeJaeGon goes in deep to get these final blows.
Really nice catch here on the flank from Prophet to help blow up Mano, further stagger this out. Now they can play around this choke point again, this opening. And this is actually that was like on the knife's edge, that defense, really carefully played out. In terms of ultimates, obviously AAA is still having the advantage here, but the time bank is definitely waning. They lost a lot of that really big momentum they got after LeeJaeGon's folly earlier on. So, gonna have the Deadeye here very shortly as well. Nano's out.
Boost out on the Fearless. Prophet taken low. Carpe looking for the Deadeye. Gets Prophet, but at the cost of Tobi, the Fire Strike from Fearless taking him down. Another big shatter coming out from Team Universe's Reinhardt. And things start looking a little bit more dire here for AAA to try to finish the map. They still do hold on to that grab, and they nearly have a Death Blossom with a sound barrier, so there's still potential, but it's going to have to be an overtime.
Yeah, it is going to have to be an overtime finish. We're going to see grabs traded. Decay actually using his Deadeye super early. They're trying to force them away so they can't actually get that overtime fight. They want to try fight grabs here, trade them out here. It's actually a really smart play, but it might backfire.
It very well could. They will at least get to recontest here on the back end, you'd expect, as they have to make their way over to the cart. Tag doesn't come through,
Nobody touches!
And, oh man, even with that really nice turnaround on the fight, AAA just cannot make their way to the cart quickly enough to force out the OT bar. So that is as good as it gets, but they still made it pretty far for Rialto.
Yeah, LeeJaeGon laughing in the chat. He was there looking for the boop. I don't think the boop actually was what caused it. I mean, there was a bubble there on whoever was trying to contest. It might have been the Zarya itself. I couldn't remember to tell you, but there was a bubble there. They didn't actually get a really big knockoff. It's just no one could actually touch, just barely in time. That was actually a really smart play from Team Universe to actually take the fight off the point, because if you grab there, they have to trade grab. So in the worst case scenario, like you said, because even if they lose that fight, which they did, and even if they do get the touch the cart, if AAA touches the cart there, then they don't have a grab for that last fight. You've got spawn advantage, so it's a very nice strategic decision to make at the last second there. But they're gonna have to have a good attack now. I mean, they might find themselves held here. And we could have that tied series in our hands still, despite that heroic defense.
All right, well, Made the same comp now on the attack. Here's Team Universe getting ready to come out the gates in 10 seconds when they open. AAA, how do they hold? It's gonna be a tough one, I think. We'll see if Tobi can have some similar heroics, but you can already see he's positioned up in the room with his teammates. He's not going to be going for the bridge plays like LeeJaeGon. There's going to be a TP up top for Profit. LeeJaeGon, in the meantime, on the hunt. They should be able to hear this, though.
6v5, meanwhile.
That he is,
he gets the knockoff.
And he looks to, displaces the high ground, almost gets punished for it. Good shots coming out from Prong and Glister to nearly get the punish there. Prong's pulling back around the corner, used his self-bubble already, so cannot try to build up any energy, and there's no one really in a good position for him to offer a bubble up to right now. And throws that one out now onto the Reinhardt to go ahead and get a bit of charge. Drops down the join in, now pressing forward, trying to break down the shields, break down the front line of this team so they can get that card control right here on that first corner. We saw how much time Team Universe was able to buy for themselves with the same position. If AAA can get that, it can be absolutely huge for them. Glister has the Deadeye online, pops it, looks for a target, forces everybody back. Sees the bubble, sees the barrier, they get the break, gets that flashbang headshot. Very nicely done there onto Fearless to finish him off. Mano will get traded up, and now with Myunbong falling, there's still potential. As I say that, it's a very scary Void pushing forward with this Zarya, cleaning up house, full energy. As Shu tries to jump into the canal, and there's not going to be a recontest. And
they had the nano boost on him as well. I mean, that's almost an impossible. It's almost an impossible defense there when you've got this character that can CC chain it or CC block. Speaking of CC, you're going to see the aggressive grab to actually try to get bridge control early before they even touched A, before they even completed it. Very aggressive play from Void while he had that high energy.
Oh, Deadeye rolling from Decay. Oh man, the sleep from. The sleep coming in from Myunbong onto Mano, perfectly timed, drops the shield, sets up for the double kill to come through. That being said, he had to jump into the canal, and Myunbong, even though he's picking up the Mega Pack, is just going to have to do exactly the same thing. He goes onto the boat, as LeeJaeGon will exit. So bridge, the cart will be stopped here, at least for the moment.
Another one?
Huh. Okay.
Carpe question marks in the chat?
Interesting.
What is this?
I don't know.
What's going on?
JJonak is just this guy's he's insane. Like, he's actually insane. The right click boop, not going to be able to find anything. Shield raise will deny that. Another sleep dart comes out from Myunbong, catching Mano. Bionade comes out now on the 5.
Big one.
Ooh.
And the card's rolling. They get high ground booped off by LeeJaeGon, so they actually have to fight on equal terms. Well, I say that, but they actually just going to run up. But, I mean, the cart just keeps rolling. You're going to have to take a fight sooner than later.
Deadeye's out, not going to be able to block anything. The roll back coming through. Death Blossom comes through from Profit. Carpe now going to be matching. It's going to be a Rhyme for Ryan exchange as Carpe goes into the race walk to try to stay alive. Grab comes out onto the cart, still going to be inching forward, but the cleanup does start to come through as Krong will get the finishing blow there onto Profit, and the rest of Team Universe has to try to hightail it out of here.
Really good
plays. Will keep Krong alive and in the fight, and yeah, Myunbong, he's in a pretty rough position. But they're not going to be able to stagger him too much.
AAA
She didn't have the sleep dart available.
Sound barrier to empower Carpe to set up for his Death Blossom. His positioning was really good for the Death Blossom. Krong is low energy. I think he's at 30-ish when he drops the grab. And I mean, that's a really nice team fight. It was a tough one, and it was really nice decision-making by them to commit all those ults. I think it was really necessary with the time bank that Team Universe has, and the fact that all they need to do is finish the map. That was a really well-executed defense.
Well, LeeJaeGon looking to get that high ground for his team yet again. Shoves him back, but obviously with the staircase right there, that could be a fairly fast retake for the side of AAA. It's a little bit risky to try to poke into that doorway. Bionade goes out, does manage to catch Mano. Tobi finds Decay. Not sniping the cowboy here. Carpe will have to retreat. For now, the cart's still going to be held, so this is still a decent position for AAA.
This is the scariest fight
these
for them,
ultimates
though,
online.
because this is the fight where Void's got grab, they've got the nano, they've got sound barrier.
Mano's pushing in, the grab does come through. Shatter is going to be the thing that actually finishes off Fearless. Knock Void to the ground as well, and Krong will scoop up that kill, so Counterparts is coming out on top. They continue this as Ana kills Ana, Reaper kills Reaper. They finally break the cycle, but AAA continue to look great.
Yeah, LeeJaeGon with a little bit of a back cap temporarily, as we'll have a pause here, it looks like. A little bit of a back cap, but not going to get the actual capture point. There was
close. I almost pulled my mixer off the thing.
There was definitely a really awkward fight there where unfortunately JJonak just barely didn't have the sound barrier. If they could grab with the sound barrier there, then they have like the team fight 100%. They could push to B. They have a really nice time bank to finish the map, right? Not necessarily going to finish the map, but you put yourself in a really, really nice spot. But the Shatter comes through on the other side of things. Mano has the Shatter kill there because there's an overextension. There's not enough health because LeeJaeGon is not able to amp it up fast enough. He's not able to sound barrier. This looks like we are back.
We're back in the game.
So, yeah, this is actually starting to look like we might have a tie series on our hands if this fight goes poorly for Team Universe, which with Krong coming up with another grab here, their positional advantage, and the Death Blossom follow-up. I mean, this is a really tough fight for Team Universe to win.
Deadeye rolling here for Glisters, really holding it to the last possible second. Doesn't find any kills, gets the follow-up with the help of Carpe, though, onto Myunbong. Sound barrier from LeeJaeGon just a little bit too late to try to keep him alive and in the fight. There'll be a trade out on the Honors as Shu does get eliminated as well, and Prophet will get rid of Glister. Kind of dropped from Fearless. Doesn't look like it found too much, but they still are capitalizing on the kills. Krong committed the Graviton Surge to the fight. Does manage to come up with 2, but this is going to be point big. It's already capped, so 2.5 minutes added, or well, 2.5 minutes remaining now in the clock for Team Universe.
Is Grab winning fights more often or losing fights more often? This is a question we have to ask at this point. It can be kind of It can be kind of like a trap where you set up a grab and you feel like, okay, well, we win this fight, everybody collapse in. But if the defensive setup there is really nice, sometimes that can actually be kind of a false positive. You feel like where you've got a really nice fight. Here's the Blossom trade.
Death Blossom's out from both sides. Carpe, he comes up with 5, absolutely shutting down Prophet. Huge turnaround. Only lose out on 2 members, get 6. Absolutely massive here from AAA.
He says Reaper difference, by the way, in the chat, Carpe.
Yes, he does.
But I gotta say, you know, the setup here, ults-wise, coming up for these next big fights, all that Universe has is the grab, and you know, there's no follow-up for the grab. So AAA. I mean, look at Krong's about to lap Void almost, it feels like, in terms of grab charge. This is actually very winnable for AAA.
Grab is online. They pull the trigger on that one. Mano going to get caught.
They can't do anything.
Haven't been able to finish him off, but it's actually Tobi who goes in to finish off Fearless. Bionet now connects onto 2. They drop in. Shatter comes through just to really guarantee Void's death. And the cleanup will come in on the back end. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, and the card is not that close. You know, they still have to basically finish the map in order to win this. That's how far AAA were able to make it, and given their ult economy, they absolutely should be able to hold this.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, barring a huge mistake here, or some sort of crazy mess up, I think this should be fine. Decay is trying to look for a flashbang play. He's just going to break barrier because he can't get it close enough.
Well, they're just pressing forward. Already Fearless going to be gone. And the Shatter nets him nothing.
Nothing.
So retreat comes out from Carpe, and yeah, this is looking pretty good. Sleep Dart onto Void. Bionade goes out. They can't fully threaten the Zarya. They take him low. They can't get the finishing blow, but Mano is going to be perfectly fine with where he's at.
He's going to be well rested for map 3, Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, we're going there regardless, but it looks like we're going to be going there with a tied-up series. And Tiny Heroes is going to have to be the thing that makes the difference between these 2 squads. That being said, Nano Boost has come out. Graviton Surge going to be used, pulling them off away from the card.
The grab
he goes in for the Deadeye. Cannot make it happen. Fire Strike out from Mano to take down Fearless, but he's going to die quickly thereafter to Prophet.
He's going to have to use this.
Still very winnable for the side of AAA. Carpe is waiting. He does have a Death Blossom. Pops it. Looking for some kills. Can't get the finishing blows onto anybody yet. But oh man, Team Universe do barely manage to persevere at least for a little bit longer. Prophet going to be taken down on the back end of the fight.
Don't grab Void, don't do it.
Glister sitting in the back, holds on. Trying to get some shots through. Grab going to be coming down. Shatter does get dropped in, taking a couple members low. Fearless tries to respond in kind, but it meets the shield of Mano, so the Shatter doesn't get anything here for the side of Team Universe. Decay finds 1. Sleep Dart out onto Carpe, nullifying the Nano Boost. Decay comes up with 3 kills in a row, getting rid of both of the supports, and now it's just Krong left alive by himself. The card's going to be moving forward. Krong taken down on the back end. AAA, the member's going to be respawning soon, but they have to get the tag onto the card. Can anybody make it there in time? Nobody's got movement speed. Tobi just now comes back in. Glister's trying to get there, but he just cannot make it happen. And despite how good it was looking, Team Universe will will be able to push through to the end here of Rialto to take this 2-0. They win the series, obviously, and there's still one more map to be played, so we still do get some more action, but man, that was way closer than what we saw in Blizzard
Yeah,
World.
that was a much closer. That was actually a real game, and it looked like it really looked like Team Universe was going to lose it. It looked like it slipped through their fingers. It looked like AAA was actually going to steal that one away, or we were going to go to a tied-up series. But despite the Grav looking a little bit weak with the defensive shatter there at the end, and I was teasing the Grav curse because it just felt like every single Grav fight went badly for the team who grabbed. Because the defensive options on both sides were so well executed, especially Carpe, by the way. Carpe played a phenomenal map. That was an insanely good map. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's Team Universe who wins the series, but we will have that final exhibition match, you could say, to close things out.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting one. So we get ready to move in for some tiny Overwatch, and you know, see who's going to be increasing in size the most, I suppose, depending on how many kills they can get. So one more map to be played here for the Asia All-Star event. It's going to be coming up in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to have a quick little break and jump right back into the action.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network, T-Mobile.
You just gotta keep moving forward.
All right, we are back, and it is time for the final map, not just of this series, but of the Asia All-Star event here in 2020. And I mean, it's been a long day, Wolf. You know, we're going on what, close to 6 hours, I believe.
Yeah, about 6 hours almost.
Non-stop
5:40.
action. Yeah, but it's been pretty fun all the way through. You know, we started off with some very unique modes to begin things. You know, having our little challenges of Ana, Genji, and whatnot. So It's been a fun day, but we have something else that's a little bit new. We have a new segment. It's going to be our Speed Boost presented by Xfinity, and we're going to take a look back at a very fast, cheeky little play made by LeeJaeGon on that last map for Rialto when they started on defense. Went in for the first blood, just absolutely assassinating Carpe's McCree.
Yeah, and it's a little bit surprising nobody was ready for that, but I guess everyone's focused and you're hyper intense on like, okay, we got to bring this back, and LeeJaeGon just shows up and gets the kills, and you're like, yeah, I bet everyone at that moment was like, oh, right, he's on the other team. Sure, okay. We're not playing against Shanghai Dragons, but we're basically playing against Shanghai Dragons, so we should be ready for this. He's one of the more aggressive Lucios. I'd say he's kind of picked up IDK's mantle in terms of aggressive environmental kills and Lucio plays in Asia. So
yeah,
he's, you know, you should expect this from him at this point. Speedy little guy.
Yeah, if he's on the enemy team, you know that he's gonna be doing something. I mean, he always goes for a very feast or famine style. A couple times he was going for feed and famine on Rialto, but he managed to stabilize and help keep the team alive by the end of it all. But it's always a joy to watch that guy play, Lucio. So I'm very happy that we had that as the pick for the supports, as well as the Ana, because we had some insane sleep darts coming out from from Myunbong especially, because you know we were hyping him up and saying that you don't get to see him too much pop off on Boston, so it was good to see him, landing some really clutch sleep darts. This is going to be our lineup, though, for our third and final map. More changes to be had. Glister going to be staying, but now he'll be joined by Haksal. Ameng is going to be stepping into the main tank role, accompanied by Choihyobin. Tobi will remain, but he will also be joined by Izayaki.
Yep, pretty solid lineup. Excited to see Haksal start tiny and then grow to huge, because if you guys were tuning in late and you didn't know, we're playing tiny Overwatch here, so you're going to grow as you get kills, as you become more successful. You go from small to normal and just keep increasing in size. So Haksal, maybe we might see little tiny Dragon Blades and then a bigger Dragon Blades later.
Yeah, as it keeps going. If you guys have played that in the workshop, you can just get absolutely massive, and I believe your damage, I think if we're playing the one that I played just a couple nights ago, the damage scales as well, so your melee hits can kind of just start one-shotting once you become a giant. For our Team Universe lineup, though, for the third and final map, Fleta's still going to be in, LeeJaeGon's still going to be in, but otherwise we'll get some representation of the other teams, with Decay still coming through, with Guxue stepping into the main tank position alongside Hanbin, and then Violet to round things out.
Yeah, Violet and LeeJaeGon is a pretty scary duo to think about in terms of the support lineup.
This is still terrifying.
And then Guxue Hanbin is also kind of like a dream come true, I think. So this is a fun lineup. I mean, the other lineup on the other side of things for AAA is pretty solid too, but Team Universe has some of those really unlikely pairings where you're like, wow, how could that even be allowed that they could be on the same team?
Yeah, it do be that way, and that's part of why they have that 2-0 lead, despite how close Rialto was. But I'm very curious to see how things are going to go for this tiny Overwatch game, because we're going to Lijiang Tower. I'm not sure what round's going to be first, but things could get pretty cramped pretty quickly, especially on Control Center and on Gardens when you have the point, and it's pretty tightly contained. So if people are becoming giants, then there's just going to be hitboxes absolutely everywhere. I don't know if you can become so huge that you can't enter into the point on Gardens, but that could become really entertaining if that's the case.
Well, I mean, it could be a big problem, right? Because if one team has control at that point, but everyone's too big to get in, then maybe they just win by default, even if they win all the team fights. I don't know. I've never
we're doing it live.
Yeah, I've never commentated this game mode before, and
I don't think anybody's commentated this game mode well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
probably
we're breaking
not.
new ground today.
I'm trying to think.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to think of other weird scenarios that could happen. Big boops off of the side. Seems pretty easy to knock back big characters off of the side.
Yeah,
I think I'm not sure. It might be hard to knock them off. I actually don't know how that's gonna work, but
yeah, we don't know how that's gonna
knock people
affect.
off the side or something.
Yeah, I mean, does Lucio, does a tiny Lucio have a really tiny boop where he barely displaces anybody? Does it scale with his size? So if Lucio gets huge, then he just sends somebody soaring across the side of the map. I have no idea how this is really gonna play out, because the one time that I have played tiny Overwatch, it was it's just on a workshop map where it's just like a flat plane. There's nothing to play around. It's all open. There's no ledges. So like boops and that kind of stuff haven't been noticeable when I played it.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how this does play out on an actual stock standard map otherwise.
Yeah, I'm curious too, because the issue you bring up on control, like without being able to get onto the point, I'm like, the entry points are pretty small on 2 of these rounds on LeeJaeGon Tower. On control, even on control center, I guess like it's kind of hard to get into the point itself. The point is very open, but getting inside, you know, all the small doorways, like that could be tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works if you get like really big. I mean, the map might end before they get too big. We just don't know. I just don't know. Let's find out. I think everybody's finally ready.
Yeah.
Haksal was taking a long time to get into the lobby, but he seems to be ready now.
Yeah, I think we got them all loaded up. Choihyobin's making the ready call. So as soon as we get the word from Team Universe, we will be able to jump in to our 3rd and final map here. Because yeah, I mean it's been a hell of a day. There's been a lot of excitement. The Widowmaker 1v1 challenge, especially. You know, obviously some slow moments. You know, kind of attributed it to being a bit similar to golf commentary, but the tension was there. So, you know, it was still a very interesting series to watch. So it's been non-stop action pretty much throughout the entirety of the day. But here we go. One final map. We will be kicking things off on Night Market from what we see here on our screens.
Yeah.
As we just take a look at the few players that do still have their webcams rolling.
Let's see what these comps are going to look like, too. I don't know if there are. I assume
I don't think there's any limitations.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I assume the teams will probably run 2-2-2, but I don't know. Maybe they won't. I don't know the tiny meta.
Maybe they just all play DPS. Like, maybe we just get 6v6 DPS. It looks like that's not going to be the case. So they still are going to be playing this in a 2-2-2 fashion.
Fleta knows that Big Bastion is the way. Look at the little, it's so cute, little tiny, bigger, like the basketball's bigger than them.
Ameng is like actually the appropriate size for a hamster.
Yeah.
This is like hyper realistic.
Look at how fast they go,
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be proportioned to normal speed, so you get that perception that they're just really zooming.
They are really zooming. Look at Guxue really zooming.
I love the move speed.
All right, Wrecking Ball to get to the point first, but look, he's going to sneak around the back.
Okay, well, here we go. Shot's going to be coming through the experimental barrier, quite tiny. The pile driver does come out. Ameng playing back around the corner, keeping himself safe here for the moment as the accretion is tossed through, but not finding too many hits. Pressing forward, looking for some kills, but as you can imagine, it's really difficult to line up hits and to, you know, get shots in onto characters when they're just this small. And looking now for a little bit more action. Ameng getting ready to roll back through.
Decay getting bigger.
Right into the point. Doesn't have the pile driver up yet. As Glister will be swapping off of that Reaper, I believe, and now goes over onto the Tracer, but seems like he might be thinking better of that. With Izayaki falling, however, you can see the size starting to scale up. Hanbin getting just a bit larger now. It's like half size.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a MOBA, actually. You could like feed one player could get fed, right? Like, actually, like if you think about it,
yeah,
someone could actually become like a hyper carry.
Ooh.
Decay's looking to be
Decay
that.
getting tagged up. Yeah, falls low, drops down to the ground, however. You can see he's about normal size. Rocket Punch barely misses. Goes in with the Seismic Slam, gets a decent amount of damage in. Onto Fleta.
Bitty punches.
Waits as he just goes around the side. Choihyobin starting to make their way over to the point. A lot of damage going through now onto Violet, onto Fleta. Brutality Field is not going to last. Pocket healing coming out from LeeJaeGon. Just keep them popped up here for the moment. Yeah, Matrix going to be available. Decay gets taken down. Haksal managed to find an uppercut kill now onto Fleta, getting rid of a lot of the damage now. Decay does get res back through as Izayaki will fall to Decay in the end. Barrage now going to be coming through. Finds Tobi, finds Haksal. Decay is surging up in size right now, and Ameng has to get the heck out of there. 53% now on the board for Team Universe, and they will be able to keep holding.
Decay is like 3 kills away from not being able to fly in and out of this control point anymore. Look how he's fed, dude. That's it. And like that's the crazy thing about control. Control's already a pretty snowbally map type, but when like it gets this snowbally, actually with tiny huge.
Well, he does get reset. I actually don't know if the res resets his size. Or
I don't think so.
Like the same size. Not quite certain, but Violet does get caught. The Wrecking Ball is just going to start getting larger and larger if Ameng continues to get these kills, which I cannot wait for, because the pile drivers are going to be insane. He's already a bit bigger than a normal Wrecking Ball, as tiny Hanbin uses the tiny Flux and kills big Haksal. He'll get pressured, pushed into the corner, as Ameng really wants to get sized up a little bit more. Gets the melee hit, and just continues to grow.
No, pile drivers are about to get really crazy.
However. Yeah, it's 99%, however, on the point. Team Universe might be able to turn this one around. Fleta goes in for the Torbjorn. He's just chipping away at the legs. He's just trying to kill Ameng, and they actually managed to do it. This is looking like a guaranteed win for AAA. You know, at least to get the flip, but Team Universe, they come back into this, and they start fighting tooth and nail to keep the fight going. They're not on the point, they can't get there in time, and it will in fact be 100% to 0 in favor of Team Universe.
Should we just change Overwatch League to Tiny Overwatch? Because
yes, we absolutely should.
I think this might just be better.
This is the way of the future. The way of the future. The way of the future.
Tobi said, "I can't see I can't see the Doom Fist."
Yep.
Is it a bug? I think it's because he's too small.
Oh boy.
And he said, and Haksal said, "I can't even hack. You can't even hack a Sombra because everything's small."
Oh, this is one of the greatest ideas that we've ever had. Thank you, Workshop Modes, for being so inventive. I'm glad that we decided to go ahead and pick this up. It's also great to see because you like charge the normal distance of a Reinhardt, so you just zoom. It's like not to scale at all. Oh man.
All right.
Okay,
Bastion.
well the Bastion does come back through, so Fleta's going to be going for the big Bastion.
It's hard to hit Bastion when he's this small.
I know. I mean, it's hard to hit Bastion, but it's hard for Bastion to hit people. Haksal does manage to get a knockoff on a Guxue. He just didn't have that leap available. Now Haksal will start growing. Glister as well with a nice uppercut onto Hanbin. Finds a follow-up kill. Fleta trying to get set up. Takes Haksal out of the sky, but Choihyobin is there with the pin to go ahead and finish him off, ensuring that he cannot grow big. Rez brings Haksal back into the frame.
He's back, and he's still big. You get to keep your size, it looks like.
Okay, so yeah, you do maintain your size, so good to know. As both teams do have those mercies available. Fleta now going to be swapping over onto the McCree.
This is so goofy.
Damage boosted Cowboy comes around the side. They get caught by a rocket, but LeeJaeGon's going to be okay. The passive healing will start kicking in. AAA for now still going to be maintaining control of this point, but Choihyobin falls a little bit low. Barrage comes out, Violet moving so quickly, but the tracking is there from Haksal to go ahead and get the finishing blow. Drops down to try to get a little bit of extra damage. Pushes himself back to safety with a concussive blast. Sees Decay, sees how low he is, tries to get the kill. Glister will get a nice rocket punch on the Hanbin. Decay will fall, and this could just be back-to-back 100-0s, this time in favor of AAA as LeeJaeGon is trying to exit. Goes for the super jump, but they'll get cut down in the end.
They're too big,
and
man.
This is where the questions start coming in. Yeah, I mean, they're almost not fitting in these doorways. So, do they get locked in if they keep getting kills?
I mean,
I hope so.
I guess so. I mean, I was more worried that the attacking team wouldn't be able to get in to contest the point, but because you're losing, you're not too big. It works.
12 HP. Glister going in for the drop down, trying to get the kill. Gets a little mini follow-up hit, but will fall in the end. Decay now chipping away quite big himself with this Pharah. Final blow into Izayaki. Keeps taking him lower and lower. With the rally rolling, the armor is going to be good. Shatter gets dropped, but doesn't manage to catch anybody. And Choihyobin's just going to get pressured, pushed back into a corner, and Hanbin is looking to become a very massive Roadhog. Glister rejoining the fight, does find Violet, however, with the rocket punch. Struck going to have to be dodged out by Tobi. Dips around the corner, goes in. Doesn't have the res available for 5 more seconds, however. And this is likely going to be the flip here in favor.
Ameng is just in here.
He's so tiny. He's playing quiet. They don't know where the point's being contested from. They're going to have to try to spot out the Wrecking Ball. They finally find him. The hook comes in, but he can't get the combo. He's just too small.
Actually, Ameng just figured out the meta.
He can buy so much time. He can buy so much time. Barrage now available from Haksal to try to keep this Swing going through his Ameng. He's so small he can't swing around the center of the point here. Haksal drops the barrage and manages to find Hanbin. Guxue going to be taken down, and Ameng with his signature pick is doing God's work for AAA. The OT bar is going to start plummeting. The barrage coming through. Glister dives straight in on top of that one, but they clear the point of the enemy Pharah, and that is it. 100% to 0 in one final round. Control Center, our most condensed point of all, is going to settle this final map in this set to see if AAA can put a win on the board. Oh, this
well,
is
I mean, I gotta say, I think this mode is awesome.
yes it is.
Among hiding is definitely probably like my highlight of the whole day.
That was great.
More than truck
Can we,
meta,
can we do another
tube
speed
meta.
boost presented by Xfinity? Because that's a segment worthy right there.
I mean, like, I think Among just needs to play Wrecking Ball and never get a kill, and just zoom around.
Yeah. Just keep hiding. Oh, that's
okay.
great.
Junkrat is
the better part.
Junkrat is pretty OP,
Ooh.
I think, on this point.
I mean, I've just given how small people are going to be, like hitting them with the grenades is going to prove to be really difficult. I think.
Well,
Maybe not right now where they're all clustered up, but I mean, you can see right now from his ult charge, the Glister has not gotten that many hits in.
yeah. Well, once he
he's still
starts
gonna be
getting
spammed
kills,
away.
man, that's when it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh, he's lobbing the shots out. I like how the trap is still massive and it doesn't shrink down.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be like, it's like using a bear trap for a mouse in your house.
Yeah.
It's so inefficient.
It's like using a
So
bear
dumb.
trap for an amoeba.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, Glister falls low. Does manage to stay alive. The point is unlocked, but there's just nowhere near enough kills right now happening to try to get the lockdown on the point. Ameng does manage to swing through Decay to get the finishing blow onto him. See Izayaki trying to escape. Just a bit too elusive. LeeJaeGon can't even track this one. Goes back over, amps it up to try to keep his team alive. Is doing a pretty decent job of it so far. Now, it's a nice little back angle there onto Choihyobin. They do manage to take him down before the Earth Shatter can be used. Hanbin finding a pin onto Glister. Is going to hit him before the Riptire does become available. So it seems like Team Universe should be able to win this one out, especially with Ameng now falling.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this Riptire. We finally get to see the first cap here. I want to see this Riptire. I want to see Glister get like a triple kill and just explode in size. I want to see AAA come back in here, and I want to see like Glister get really big and then not be able to enter the point. I don't know if that's gonna happen. But that's what I look at Choihyobin. He's like trying to set for the shatter. They can't stop him. He's everywhere.
Riptire in. Oh, got the break on the Guxue's mech. He sees that the Immortality Field's still up, now going to be expiring. The barrage going to be dropped through, but Haksal taken down by the Helix rockets. You can see just how big the pilot form team is here for Guxue as he tries to pistol his way back into the mech. Res will come through from Tobi, getting the reset here onto Haksal, who then instantly takes down LeeJaeGon. Guxue not able to get denied there on that remake. Does make his way back through. Among just a fraction of a second off from being able to stop that. But that being said, they do manage to get him in the end as Ameng starts to grow larger and larger here with the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, he was like the small
right now
one
he's about
earlier.
normal size.
He's just he's a bit above average at the moment. Being pocketed here by
Goes
Mini
back to
Tobi.
pocket the tiny Tobi.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if being big
man.
is actually good. The more I watch this, I'm like, maybe being big is actually a disadvantage here. Like, you're struggling to survive when you're big. You're just a big target. Do a lot of damage though.
You do a hell of a lot of damage. Ameng happy to go outside, but cannot survive. Violet chases in, managed to get the kill. Fleta taking down Glister, follows up for another kill onto Choihyobin, and it is just the Violet and Fleta show right now. Coming up with all the killing blows here in the fight. AAA going to be pushed back off the point, barely as they take the lead. The flip should be coming back in. Yeah, ticking up now as Team Universe will be able to reclaim this.
Does the new Riptire get really huge? I wonder.
I don't know. I think it just defaults to the same size.
I think so too, which is really sad.
Like the trap. Oh, if it was a tiny tire, that'd just be amazing.
Okay.
So, still some work to be done. Oh! It's kind of tiny.
Yeah, I mean, it's tiny by comparison.
Ooh.
Double kill, though.
Okay, well, Glister's going to be getting huge. He finds 3. Well, he does die, actually. It was his martyrdom, effectively, that comes up with a kill onto Fleta. Does get taken down. He's now going to be swapping over onto the Doom, because but AAA looks like they should be able to get the split back into their favor. 70% on the board for Team Universe.
You know what we need to, like, somebody said, you know what, we have some of the best Overwatch players in the world for like the strongest region. You know what we'll do with them? We're going to put them in a tiny Overwatch game and see what happens.
Well,
you know
the results are amazing. Choihyobin, he's going for the... Oh my god.
Shatter
He goes for the bumper play. Comes in for the flank shatter, but he misses the pin. He doesn't get the kill. The immortality field coming out also helps keep the rest of the team alive. So it was a cheeky little play hiding around the corner, but it does not pay dividends here as he was hoping. And suddenly AAA are under threat of potentially losing this point yet again as they barely take a lead. Valkyrie now going to be expiring for LeeJaeGon. They take back to the skies as Haksal will die before he can use the barrage, and Fleta just gets to hold on to this Riptire for a little bit longer. Ameng hitting the wall, falling low, gets the shield, goes in for the pile driver, has the mines as well, will drop them in. But they might actually float so high that they don't kill tiny members. Yeah, he does get taken down in the end. You can see grenades coming through, trying to get a direct hit onto Glister, proving to be rather difficult. And AAA start to swing the fight back into their favor, looking to get the flip here, as they are at 99%. Riptire from Fleta takes down Izayaki. Fleta, however, falling low. Oh, managed to stay alive with a sliver of HP as Choihyobin does get taken down.
They've got the barrage, and there it is.
Yep, they drop it, but Decay gonna get pushed out of that one, and Haksal comes back in with a kill. 93% the flip, almost there for AAA, but they just can't seem to clear the point in time. They finally do, with the punch there onto Hanbin. They knock him off the point, they get the flip back into their favor, and the OT is going to start benefiting them more and more as the bar will fall faster. Glister, however, going to be taken down. Guxue coming up the kill, and he nearly has a minefield ready to roll. Izayaki pushes forward, gets rid of Violet. Choihyobin looking for a target, but everybody's just so damn small, so damn elusive. Just can't really get the damage in. They're trying to get that next Earth Shatter online. Three members, however, on here for the side of Team Universe. Guxue comes back in, the pile driver takes down Haksal. Shatter going to be dropped, the pin is going to be good. Hanbin eliminated, but Guxue continues to play the point here, keeping the dream alive for Team Universe.
They're too short to reach him.
Around the map, goes back down with a pile driver, but he gets eliminated. And Violet is the only one, fades into the back. Fleta now rejoining with the Tracer, does get stunned, punched, knocked out, and AAA do manage to win by far the most entertaining map of this series. They lost the set, but it doesn't matter because they win Tiny Overwatch, and we as viewers win collectively. We were not sure what we were going to get from this Wolf, but I mean, it was just astounding.
I mean, I'm glad you carried the cast because my official commentary for this 3 rounds was pretty much just laughing sounds and occasionally saying words. I don't know.
I mean, it's one of those things where like, you just can't take it seriously. I think it's the dumbest thing that we had today, other than maybe...
Is it the smartest thing, actually, though? It could be.
Yes. Yes, it is. That's the thing. That's the conundrum. That's the catch-22 of this, is that it is simultaneously the most brilliant idea we've ever had, but it's also one of the dumbest things that I've ever watched, but in the most amazingly entertaining way. Oh, man. I mean, thank you to the players for committing to this event and for playing this map, because it was by far the highlight for me. As good as the Widowmaker 1v1 was, I'm going to be thinking about this one for a while because it was just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit speechless. I thought it was great. Too bad it wasn't the one. The only way it could have been better was if it was like the deciding match, if it was tied after Rialto. But we were almost there. You know what? It doesn't matter. It was fun. I don't care.
in my heart, that's basically what this was. But oh boy! But man, if you guys enjoyed this, if you enjoyed a lot of the game modes that you saw, and you know, seeing these mixed up teams of players, you know, from different rosters coming together, then boy, do we have a treat for you. Because coming up next week, it's going to be the NA All-Stars, where Tiny Overwatch will be featured yet again. So we're going to get to see some more of that action take place. With the NA players. English
talent in the talent takedown as well, which I think a lot of people are really looking forward to. That's going to be an exciting one. You and I aren't playing, but we get to just enjoy. It's actually going to be my favorite part, is to watch all the stress and all the anger just from afar.
I get to sit back and watch Team Custa get absolutely destroyed by Team Jake, because I think that's going to be incredibly one-sided. I mean, Jake, Jaws, and admittedly Bren on the same lineups just seems a bit too busted in my mind. But who knows? We were expecting more from Team Korea today. They got clapped by Team China. So maybe we'll have a similar situation happen next week, and maybe Team Custa can get some wins on the board. But man, it's been a hell of a day. 6 hours
really
of
has.
broadcast here, bringing you guys some wonderfully entertaining game modes. I hope you guys had fun doing it, whether you were here from the beginning or joined in a little bit late. We thank you guys for tuning in all the same. And yeah, make sure you guys watch the NA one next week. It's going to be exciting. I'm sure Wolf and I are going to be watching right there with you in the chat, having fun, and making fun of the NA talent. So thank you guys again for tuning in. For our production staff for staying up late. Have a good night. We will see you next time.